With the official announcement of the four teams coming in next year, we kind of, all were waiting for that one to happen. How does the timetable, does that change the timetable or clarify the timetable on when you'll know what the schedule will be, commissioner, all that? What do you think, what can we expect next, if you can even shed light on it?
Yeah, I think the next thing you can expect is the announcement of a new commissioner. Look, we had anticipated, and we were locking in that July 1, 2023 date for all four, and obviously BYU was able to do that immediately because they were independent, and in football, obviously not in their other sports, but easier for them to do that. And so again, grateful that the other three, in working with Commissioner Oresco, were able to find a way to extricate themselves fairly and it be a win-win for everybody. And so then I think it's new commissioner, and then I think here parallel path this summer through probably the 1st of September is really solidifying schedules, football and all of the sport program schedules. So and clearly we've been working on all of that, and I would tell you that we're certainly much closer to the end than we are the beginning. There's branding campaign, again, introducing the new members and still, the 10 of us. And so there's that component. That's probably the next 3 months, when we think about Big 12.
Mack, we had a conversation the other day, and there's obviously a lot about Oklahoma and Texas, and they're going to be, taking some money with them. They're going to be taking some prestige with them when they go to the SEC, whenever that is, over the next 3 years. But how much do you think just having more of an equal feel amongst the schools will be beneficial, rather than what it always at least felt like on the outside looking in, of there was a couple schools that always felt like they were bigger, stronger, better than everybody else, and that their opinion should matter more? And that's just my take on it. But does it feel like things are going to be a little bit smoother, a little more equal respect around the conference when the new era hits?
Yeah, I think there's potentially some opportunity for more unity within the conference, and I'm not going to get into any particular institution,
sure.
but I think and I think that's what was really hard about what happened with those both leaving. I think I may have even said it on this show that I felt like in terms of unity, culture, that the Big 12 had never been more together, and I think that's why it was a shock, and quite frankly, that's why it was a blow, and that's why it hurt, and so now we move on, and when the both Oklahoma and Texas leave, I think we're going to have 12 institutions that are equally committed to the Big 12, to its well-being, that are absolutely excited and want to make the Big 12 the best of the Power Five. I think we'll have 12 institutions that there will be times when they will look out for the good of the group and not just for themselves individually, that there'll be some selflessness within the conference. And, I left the meetings in Dallas with the presidents and the FARs and the FWAs. Like there's just a ton of energy, and it just feels good. And what I'll tell you, and we all know this, right? You can have great, unbelievable talent, but if you don't have great culture, you fall short. Not some of the time, but all of the time. And I think that the Big 12 is going to have really, really great culture.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, and I'm not saying that the Big 12 didn't have a right to do what they did to Baylor on the money that was withheld that's been returned, but that damaged the brand. That was the main thing, damaging the brand. Did Texas and Oklahoma, with what they did, not damage the brand, and was that ever discussed on that end?
I mean, I think if I'm following you Smoak, and yeah, absolutely. Texas and Oklahoma, leaving absolutely damaged the brand. And if you go back in time, and I can't necessarily remember the very specific time last summer. I mean, there were weeks, maybe even a month or months that, man, we were, what's going to happen to the Big 12? And, that wasn't positive at all. And, look, those two schools are held accountable for that in the way of rights fees and grant of rights, and, exit fees, I should say, rather than rights fees. So, and again, I'm not saying anything that's not public, but what I'm most proud of is I think we quickly recovered. We quickly recovered by bringing in the four schools, and you think about some major things that happened within the league with having both Oklahoma State and Baylor playing in the Big 12 championship game, and second largest crowd ever, and the TV ratings, surpassing significantly, two of the other Power 5 conferences, and, Kansas winning the men's basketball national championship. And so, I think we're back on our feet. I think our brand is really, really strong. But I also think conceptually, as we look forward, I think our brand 4 years from now is going to be much stronger than it is today. And I think we're going to have this opportunity where the Big 12 brand is going to continue to grow.
I know you got to go real quickly. Dr. Livingston.